Hi everyone, I'm going to take you through a short little practice to focus on your neck, shoulders and upper back. So this is perfect for anybody that sits at a desk for a majority of the day or picks up small children all the time. It was good for everybody really, but particularly if you do have a job where you're seated down for a lot of the day. You will need a strap for this one, and it doesn't have to be a yoga strap. You can use a dressing gown belt, you can use a tie, basically anything that you can use as a strap really. So you need one of those. You might need a block, but the only reason that you would need your block is if you feel uncomfortable when you come to a cross-legged position. If you feel really tense around the top of the thighs and the knees are creeping up, then just get, it doesn't even have to be a block, you might prefer it to be a blanket. Just anything to give you a little bit of height for the sit bones so that you're not carrying tension around the top of the thighs. So to begin with, just come into your comfortable seated position and close the eyes, and let's just tune into our breath as we would do usually. So just even here, check the posture, make sure that we're sitting nice and tall, that the core is slightly engaged to maintain that lift, and that we're not rounding and slouching. I also want you to tuck the chin in ever so slightly. And then just as you connect to that breath, take all the time that you need, breathing in through the nose, filling up the belly with breath and exhaling back out through the nose. So if you can sit and connect to your breath for as long as you feel that you need to. I want to get us started, so we're going to just start by tucking your chin towards your chest. As you do this, hug the shoulder blades in towards one another, and then just allow the back of the neck to stretch. We're not going to stay here too long because we actually do a lot of this in our day-to-day actions anyway. We sit on the phones, reading, so we actually want to counteract this action. So as you inhale, lift the head. Take the chin towards the sky, let the back of the head drop back. You'll feel a gentle stretch through come through the front of your neck. And if you want an instant facelift, you can blow kisses to the ceiling and feel an extra stretch. I'm not joking. Even if you don't get an instant facelift, you get a nice stretch through the throat. Then we're going to inhale, bring that head back up to center. As you exhale, we're going to take one ear to one shoulder, doesn't matter which one you start with. I'm going to take right ear to right shoulder. You can stay here, you could pop your hand on the opposite side of the head just for that little extra stretch. If that's too much, then just pull away. You might want to roll the chin forwards and backwards just to really get into that neck. And then you're going to inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, drop the head to the opposite side. You can use that hand again if you wish. Or if that's okay, just stay as you are, gently rolling. And then we're going to come back up. We're going to start to roll the neck now. So if you don't like the sensation of tilting the head back, you can just roll your chin as if you're running it along your collarbone in a crescent moon shape. If you're with me, we're going to tuck that chin in. I'm going to start to roll the head in nice big circles. I'm going to listen to those lovely noises going on. They're normal, by the way. And if you feel any parts that feel a little bit stuck, a little bit sticky, it's probably just a bit of tension that we're carrying, and hopefully through this practice we can get rid of some of that. So make sure you roll in both directions. Then we're going to come back to a nice tall seated position. Then we're going to start to roll the shoulders. So see if you can let most of the movement come from your shoulders as you roll, rather than poking the chest and winding through the body. Keep all this nice and still and just allow that movement to come. It might not be as much movement, but that's okay. And then we're going to bring the fingertips to your shoulders. We're going to lift the elbows and we'll start to draw some circles with your elbows. You can start quite small, And then I want you to take the elbows as wide as you can, drawing the biggest circles possible. You might find the elbows meet in the middle. You might think, I'm nowhere near it, that's fine. And again, just make sure we roll these in the opposite direction as well. And then you can shake them out, roll them out, do whatever feels good. You go back to the head a little bit if you want to. And then we're going to just take the hands behind you. Don't turn around. And with the hands behind the back, just press them into the mat and lift the chest, lift the heart, and take the head back slightly. Just hold it here for 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to come back and we're going to come on to all 4s. So you don't need your strap just yet. We're going to use that in a little while. So come into all 4s into your tabletop position. As you come into your tabletop position, can you notice what your head does? Naturally, it tends to just shift forward. We don't really want to hold it very much. It's heavy. Why do we want to carry that around? Well, because we don't want tight muscles in the back of the neck and really weak ones in the front. So from here, I want you to imagine that I've got the back of my hand pressing into the back of your head. And as you inhale, just tuck that chin under slightly and press the back of your head into my imaginary hand. Then as you exhale, without moving the head, we're going to just lower the chest a little bit, keeping the arms straight. You're going to feel the shoulder blades start to wing off of the back. Then you're going to press the hands into the mat and create like a dome kind of shape at the top. Just do that a couple more times. Try and keep the alignment of the head. So again, don't just let it shift forwards. Keep it where it's supposed to be. And then you're going to come back to your tabletop position. Then we're going to take the right arm. Inhale, reach the right arm towards the ceiling. As you exhale, thread it under. Just find reach first. We're going to do that once more. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Noticing the range of movement you have in that shoulder. Exhale, right shoulder down to the mat now, right ear down. You can stay here, or you can lift that left arm and bend the left elbow, bringing that arm behind the back. You can stay here for a few breaths. We're going to stay for 3, but by all means, feel free to add extra time to these postures. After that last breath, we're going to do the exact same on the other side. So just bringing that left hand down to press into, right hand back to mat. Inhale, reach the left arm. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, open. And thread. This time, left shoulder, left ear down to the mat. You can keep this right hand on the mat. You can walk it up in front. Or again, you can take it up and behind like we did on the other side. 2 more breaths. 1, 2. Bringing the right hand down, back onto all 4s. Then we're going to take a puppy pose. Puppy opens the front of the chest. So usually I'd instruct it several ways, but I want you to just walk the hands forward, come onto the forehead, and I want you to lift the palms away from the mat, but press your fingertips quite firmly down into the ground. And you'll feel a nice stretch come across this underarm, across the front of the chest, and just breathe into all those spaces that feel a little bit stuck. See if you can iron them out through your breath. So breathing into the ribs, the back, the belly. And then we're going to press the palms down. We're going to lift up and we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose is so underrated. We don't do it very often. I'm not really sure why. So your hands, the forearms, are parallel to one another. You're going to spread the fingers nice and wide. Feet are hip distance apart. If you're having a back pain or back injuries, take your feet out a little bit wider instead. You're going to press into the tops of the feet, into the thighs. We're going to switch the glutes on. And as we pull the chest forward and up, we're going to hug these elbows towards the back of the room. So you've got forces moving in different directions. And you'll feel the muscles in the back start to fire up. You could stay here if you wanted to go a bit deeper. Press into the palms, and you can straighten the arms, but keep that pubic bone in contact with the mat. Just be mindful with this variation. Sometimes when we press up, our shoulders try to be our earrings. So we just want to soften those away. When you're ready to leave the posture, as you exhale, take the elbows wide, lower that chest down. We're going to come into some cobras. Hands just behind your shoulders. Keep the elbows tucking in. Pressing into the feet and the thighs just like you did for that Sphinx pose. Inhale, lift the heart forwards and up. You could hold it for a couple of breaths, or you might prefer to flow in and out with your breath, your choice. So I'm going to go in and out a few times. I'm going to lift on my inhalation, and on my exhalation, I'm going to soften back down. One more forward facing. And then as you come down, as you inhale next, we're going to roll the left shoulder towards the back of the mat. Take the gaze over. So a little bit of a twisty cobra. Exhale down. Inhale, right arm draws back. Gaze it back. Exhale, lower down. If you want to, you can take a bit of a breather here. If not, I'm going to curl the toes. I'm going to lift into downward facing dog. Now, downward facing dog naturally is a shoulder opening posture anyway. So just spread the fingers. You can allow that chest to press towards your thighs. You can hold here for as long as you wanted, pedaling it out. You can even press your hands into blocks, which will deepen that stretch into the underarm. Then we're going to just pop back down on to our knees. We're going to take a child's pose. Knees wide, toes together. If knees wide isn't for you, you can bring them in. And again, just as you did in that puppy, press the fingertips into the mat, lifting the palms for about 2 to 3 breaths. 1, 2. And then I'm going to walk the hands up towards the body. And this is where you'll need your strap or your dressing gown belt. So I'm going to turn around. We're going to take what's called Gomukhasana arms. So you might not need the strap at all. So we're going to turn around. I'm going to take a right hand up towards the ceiling. You're going to bring the hand between the shoulder blades. Then your left hand will come from underneath. Now if your hands don't reach and you can't link them together, that's what you're going to use the strap for. So you can use that strap, and with each exhalation you can just keep walking the hands down and down. So it's really tempting here, because we want to get hold of those hands, to compromise the rest of the body. So we'll tuck the chin in or round, be like, look, I've got it, I can't breathe, but I've got it. We want to let go of that. So we want to lift the chest, really lift through that elbow, and take some nice deep breaths into the chest and the belly. 1, 2, 3. We're going to release the strap or release your hands, roll the shoulders out, and then you're going to do the exact same on the other side. So we'll take the left arm up first, bringing it between the shoulder blades. Right hand comes from the underneath. Now just to show you, you might have a bit of an imbalance. That's normal. So this side my body won't actually do what I would quite like it to. And that's okay, because I've got a strap, so it doesn't really matter. So big breath in, lift the elbow towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, you're going to walk those hands back down onto the strap. You could stay there. You could even fall forwards and take this posture into child's pose if you wanted to. I don't want to, but you might want to. And again, you're going to just hold it here, another breath. And then slowly release it. If you want to then, you can roll the shoulders back out. You can always go in for another few breaths in downward facing dog, or you can just come down into your child's pose. And just connect to your breath. Breathe into the back, into the ribs. And you can stay here for as long as you like. to finish your practice, we're going to just walk the hands back up. One hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. And just take 5 grounding breaths to close your practice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you might want to repeat that a few times, or you can just leave it there.